I may not be on the track team, but I'm close to crossing that graduation finish line. I may not be on the basketball team, but I'm going to finish this semester with some slam dunk grades. I may not be on the lacrosse team, but that's why I'm finishing my senior year winning. It's the last few shows, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's safe. Hello, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. Siobhan's right. The end of the school year and senioritis is hitting hard. There's plenty of things I won't miss about college, but spending Thursdays with our amazing crew is something I am not going to be okay saying goodbye to. But hey, it's not over yet. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. Spring sports either give us close to no recaps or a ton of recaps, and this week just so happens to be the latter. We're catching you up on all of our Explorer sports from the past week.
And later, Izzy Boyle and Trevor Fawcett sat down with Siobhan to give us some more insight into rowing's continued success.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, women's water polo clinched their third consecutive appearance in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference this week. Following a pair of wins against conference rivals, the Explorers will be the 6th seed in the MAC championship.
Number 2, men's rowing remains ranked 23rd in the country according to the Week 3 IRCA-IRA Coaches Poll. After earning 45 points from voting, the Explorers are keeping a steady place in the top 25.
Number 3, men's golf freshman Anthony Garcia has been selected as the Atlantic 10 Golfer of the Week. Garcia tied for second at the Wildcat Invitational after shooting a weekend total of 3 under par, 139.
So really good that rowing, men's rowing, is staying in the top 25. I didn't realize they were nationally ranked. I can't lie. Did not realize that. So it's a good preface for our rowing interview later in the show.
Yeah, very impressive from them, and they did really well at the event this week. So they have a couple more events and exciting end of the season for them coming up.
And then Anthony Garcia getting Golfer of the Week in the Atlantic 10. It's just really going to show how great men's golf has been doing. They had a really good run during their meets and invitationals, and good to see someone other than Kevin Lyden getting the recognition from the Atlantic 10.
Absolutely. Anthony Garcia is a really strong competitor and has a lot of confidence in his game, and he's been their top player for the past 2 weeks now, so really, really proud of what he's been able to accomplish, and the team as a whole. They're playing great collectively, and you know, Kevin's been struggling a little bit this spring season, but he played really well in the fall. So, you know, they have a lot of backups, and they're heading into their A10 championships here soon. So very exciting for them.
And also, of course, want to congratulate women's water polo on a 3rd straight appearance in the championships. Always amazing to see. And that's it for the top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. Track and field competed at the Larry Ellis Invitational last weekend, where, of course, the Mancini sisters thrived. Liz and Elle Mancini finished 1st and 2nd, respectively, in the 5,000-meter run, while Christine Mancini took 3rd place in the 800-meter event. On the men's side, David Butts took a bronze medal in the steeplechase, while Liam Rivard finished in 5th place in the 800-meter run.
Rowing visited Cherry Hill, New Jersey for the Next Cup this weekend. On day 1, the 23rd ranked Explorer men's team advanced their varsity 8+ boats and 2nd varsity 8+ boat into the finals. On the final day, the varsity 8+ boat, coxswained by Trevor Fawcett, earned bronze. They placed behind MIT and Drexel by just seconds. The 2v8 boat, coxswained by Izzy Boyle, placed 3rd as well behind Drexel's A and B boats. On the women's side, all 3 of their boats performed well enough to compete in the petite finals on day 2. The 2nd varsity 8+ boat, coxswained by Arya Singh, placed 2nd on the day. The varsity 8+ boat placed 4th, and the varsity 4+ boat placed 6th.
Water polo had a busy weekend facing 3 teams, LIU, Villanova, and VMI. The Explorers lost against their first matchup, LIU, by a score of 5-10, but things were looking up at the start of their second game against Villanova. LaSalle had a pair of goals at the beginning of the matchup, followed by Villanova scoring 1 goal before the end of the first period, giving LaSalle a 2-1 lead. Villanova would score 3 more goals as LaSalle would only score 1 to turn over the lead 4-3 by halftime. During the third period, Madeline Corper shot past Villanova to tie the game 4-4. After Villanova scored a goal, sophomore Francesca Coe lined up to take a shot, allowing the Explorers to turn the lead back over 5-4 before the end of the period. Corper would score 2 more goals as Villanova struggled to catch up, and LaSalle would end up winning 7-6. LaSalle's last matchup would be against VMI, in which VMI would take a quick 2-1 lead at the start of the period. However, LaSalle was not shutting down and would score 4 goals straight. VMI and LaSalle would keep battling it out, and LaSalle would end up winning 14-7 to close up their regular season play.
Men's golf was in Easton, PA this week for the Abrada Coca-Cola Classic. Freshman Anthony Garcia finished round 1 at 1 under par. He was followed closely by teammates Nikita Romanov and Alex Kikas, who both shot 1 over par. Senior Carson Rush completed round 1 scoring for LaSalle at 3 over. On day 2, Garcia shot another round of 71 to earn him a spot in the top 10 on the individual leaderboard. Romanov tied for 25th after a day 2 score of 1 over. Gikas and Rush shot 6 over and 10 over respectively to complete event scoring. The Explorers took 7th place overall, which was good for the top score among A10 teams.
Lacrosse took on Duquesne this past weekend, a matchup where both teams hadn't won a game going into the contest. LaSalle took an early 1-0 lead thanks to a free position goal from Alana Lathan, her 16th of the year. The Dukes tied the game, but Lathan would net a second goal to pull ahead. Duquesne proceeded to go on a 4-goal run, but Lola Quigley kept LaSalle in the game with a goal to make it 5-3. The Dukes would go up 8-3 before the Explorers went on a scoring run of their own. Mackenzie Click, Lola Quigley, and Claudia Steinmetz all scored to bring the scoreline to 9-8 going into halftime. Duquesne opened the second half with 3 goals, but Maddie Henderson stepped in to score one of her own. Ellen Stickney also contributed to the scoring with her first and second goals in the second half of the game. Duquesne would be in the lead 14-10 during the second half, but LaSalle wouldn't be able to catch up and would end up losing 21-12.
Women's golf traveled to Littlestown, PA for the Quill Valley Spring Invitational this week. On day 1, junior Kaylee Zeman led the team with a score of 78, landing her in a tie for 4th. Sophomore Paige Sermonaro carded an 84, while Nina Okenkova and Hannah Bosler rounded out scoring for LaSalle with scores of 13 and 20 over respectively. Freshman Sydney Levery was competing as an individual and ended day 1 in 6th place with a score of 80. On day 2, Zeman continued her success, carding an 83 and taking 6th overall. Sermonaro and Levery joined Zeman in the top 10 with scores of 81 and 82 respectively. Junior Megan Ruffing had a great day on day 2, counting a score of 83 for the Explorers, and Bosler rounded out LaSalle scoring with an 85. The team finished 2nd overall, which is their best finish in program history.
Can we hear a little commotion for the golf teams? This is definitely a week where our LaSalle teams are kind of struggling to get the results that we might have wanted, so it's really cool to see that golf is the team that stepped up and just really gave us a lot of positives to talk about.
Yeah, especially women's golf. You know, those are my girls. I love them to death, and they've been pretty much under the radar for their whole existence on LaSalle's campus, and their best finish in program history, 2nd. And just super, super proud of the way that they played. Kaylee Zeman really came out strong and had 2 really great rounds. That's her best finish on the individual leaderboard at 6th. Sydney Levery, a freshman, really stepped up as well. Even though she was playing as an individual, she's been struggling a little bit this year, so it was really exciting to see her play the rounds really well that she did. They're heading into their MAC championships this week. They're already in Florida getting ready, so I like that they have momentum going into that event. And men's golf at the top of the leaderboard for A10, which was really nice in their event as well.
Yeah, and we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Izzy Boyle and Trevor Fawcett are on desk to talk rowing.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Register today at walkms.org.
Oh my God, I swear, these sports show hosts just get dumber and dumber as time goes on. Like, I can't believe people are actually paid money, real money, more than what I make at my job to say this stupid stuff. Like, I can't believe this crap. Oh my gosh. I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. Like, this is just, how can they even,
Hey, what you doing?
this stupid sports show. These people have no idea how the game of basketball is played. Not at all.
Hey, you're not you when you don't watch Salle TV. Here, let me show you.
Have much more left, but the only reason why for everyone else it's a one-year rental.
Talk Philadelphia here on the South TV. I'm your host, all that coach.
Feel better now?
Better.
You're not you when you're not watching LaSalle TV. To stay up to date, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. The spring season for rowing is in full swing, and I got to sit down with Izzy Boyle and Trevor Fawcett to talk about their success so far this season. Take a look. Hello, I'm Siobhan Nolan, joining you for this week's edition of On the Sidelines. We have a rowing interview this week. I'm joined by Izzy Boyle and Trevor Fawcett. So guys, you're coming off a pretty good run at the Murphy Cup recently, was your most recent meet, won some medals there. How are you guys feeling after just being successful there?
Well, in terms of my boat, I think one thing we've been focusing on is perfecting our race plan. So a lot of the times we'll break up the 2K into 4 500s and focus on something different for each part of the race. And really staying strong through the middle has helped us be successful this season against a lot of teams who we haven't been able to beat in the past. So that's something I'm focusing on.
My boat, same thing here. We're kind of focusing on breaking up the race plan, kind of working towards our second half of the race. And another specific for my boat is we came in second, so we weren't completely satisfied with our result, but we were still happy. We know it's early in the season, and we just want to constantly keep improving.
Yeah, and you guys last year had, that was really rowing season. That's where you guys were so successful, really put the team on a lot of people's radars here. So how has it felt to continue that success and continue building on just such a breakout year for you?
Yeah, I can go first. So last year we were in 4s. It was a smaller category. This year we're more focused on the 8, and it's known to be a much more, if not the most competitive category. So we're really trying to use all that work we put in the 4s last year and transition it into the competitive category and do the best we can.
And you know, you guys have had some coaching changes. You obviously have rowers going in, going out. So what has it been like to just adjust to different changes and try to keep your team as consistent as possible with all the moving parts going on?
I would say the very strong bond that's built during rowing has helped to keep the team going through all the coaching changes. I would say that our senior class is very close together, and we try to bring that same connection with the younger rowers that come in. And each year we have new freshmen coming in and sophomore too with them that are transfers, and they're faster and faster every year. And being able to lead by example and continue that close-knit bond just helps the team flow as one. And I don't mean to speak for Trevor, but I think we both agree that the coach we have right now really puts 100% priority on us and focuses on what we need, and that's been a big help, the changes.
Yeah, and when you guys came in as freshmen, what drew you to want to do rowing at LaSalle, and how has it changed from when you first came here to now?
So I can speak first. When I was looking at colleges, I wasn't even considering rowing. I did it in high school and thought that was the end, I'm good, I'm satisfied. But then I had a few guys here at LaSalle that I went to high school with. I came, did an official, met the team, saw the culture, saw the bond, and knew I just wanted to take it to the next level.
My story is a little bit different. I live right outside of St. Louis in southern Illinois, and my goal was to go to Philadelphia for rowing because this is really a great rowing hub of the entire country. I mean, being on Boathouse Row is an absolute blessing to see the city skyline every day and be with such high-level athletes. And I came wanting to be on the men's team, wanting to be a coxswain, and same thing Trevor said. I saw how close the team was, and that it was a smaller team, so you knew everyone's name, but not so small that we were unable to run boats. You know, we were able to have a little competition between the team, a little bit of depth, and that made me want to stay.
Yeah, so for people who might not be as familiar with rowing, what do you do as a coxswain? Like, what does that position on the team entail for you guys?
Well, I'll just put it out there. A lot of people think it's just screaming and saying row over and over again. But it's a lot more than that. And as you get to know the sport, you see that it's a lot more. So what we do is we're basically the coach when the coach isn't there. When we're racing, the coach can't be out there with you in your ear. You're out there alone, that's basically. And it's our job to keep the guys calm, let them know where they are, what's going on. If they need to do anything like technique adjustments, just giving them on-the-fly advice, and most importantly, just motivating them as a whole.
Yeah. Most people don't know that we face opposite directions.
Okay.
So the guys actually face us, and we're the ones looking down the course for all the races we do. So whether it's in a straight line or our fall races are 5Ks, so we have to navigate the quickest course down whichever river we're on. And the guys have to have full trust in us that we can get them to the correct point, get them on the shortest path. And I would say that knowing your crew is one of the most important things, because Trevor and I think cox the boats very differently based on what they need in what race, how they're doing, what's the weather, are they tense, are they loose, being able to read that and then adapt is a big part of it.
And Izzy, you mentioned being on the men's team. Is that a common thing to have the mixed gender boats, or is that not as, frequent that we see that in rowing?
It's actually very common in the United States and internationally. The problem is that most fully grown men don't hit our sort of weight minimum. There isn't a maximum, it's just a minimum. So when you go to a regatta, they weigh you and you have to hit a minimum of 120. If you're over, it's just more weight, but if you're under, you will get sandbags. So everyone hits that 120 minimum. And I think that it just has become easier since the average rower is probably 6'3", 200 pounds. So finding a lot of fully grown guys that are able to be at that weight is pretty hard.
Do you feel that that is a little more difficult to have, be the only girl on the boat, or do you just know that they're going to listen to you and they have that trust in you as a coxswain?
Well, I learned everything I know about rowing from my dad, and that's how I got introduced to the sport. So I think I have a very direct style of coxing that doesn't work as well with women. If I'm needed for something, I'm able to cox women, but I haven't since junior year of high school. And the guys are surprisingly compliant. If I say, okay, sit ready, we're gonna do this, they do it. It's just a level of trust. And I think they just know that I have the experience to adequately run a practice or go through a race, and they trust what I say.
And as you guys mentioned, Philadelphia is a big rowing city, and usually people don't think of rowing as the main thing, but what has your guys' experience been rowing in Philadelphia, rowing against Temple, Villanova, all of these different Big Five schools that are pretty stiff competition, but that you've beaten by some pretty large margins?
Yeah, I think rowing in Philly, it just makes it a lot easier for us, where other teams will have to travel good distances for good competition, where us, we see them every day, every afternoon on the water. And I think it's just a constant reminder that we can always improve. There's always someone better, and there's always someone to push you.
And where would you say you see LaSalle rowing going in the future? It's a pretty recent addition to the athletics rotation, and you guys have really just started to become super successful. So where do you see the program going even after you leave the school?
I just see it continuing to go up. I think we're increasing numbers. Unfortunately, money is a big part of rowing, just because our boats are a year of college tuition, and we're doing well in funding, numbers on guys, and we're able to get the equipment we need. The other local teams in Philly have been very generous in letting our boats be on their trailer to transport them to races, which, as Trevor said, luckily we're in Philly, so most races are here.
Yeah, which
but
is nice.
We have a great coaching staff and a great group of guys, and I think that when people come to visit the team, they just see a close-knit group of people that want to go fast, and that's something they want to be a part of.
Shep, do you have any?
Yeah, I can add on to that. I honestly see the team going nowhere but up if we continue the direction we're in, and I think we're going to go up fast. Everyone has a common goal, and it's not just beat the Philly schools. It's go to our national championship and be in the top 10 in the country. And I think if we continue on the path we're on, and like she said, I really trust our coach. I really trust the guys and the guys they're bringing in. I could see us attaining that goal and staying there for a long time.
And looking ahead to the rest of your schedule, because your season's not quite over yet, are there any meets that you guys really look forward to every season, or is it just you take it one at a time and you approach everything with the same mindset?
I think we really focus on the beginning of May. Our coach uses the phrase, we're cashing out in May, and we, following the training plan, just continue to get faster throughout the season. And one of our biggest races is the Dadvale Regatta, which this year actually falls on graduation, May 12th and 13th, and that's basically our ticket into the Intercollegiate Rowing Association Championship, which is the beginning of June, and I think that is our end goal, essentially. We will be racing Ivy League schools, West Coast schools. It will be a culmination of all of the teams in the country, and that's where we're hoping to show the most improvement and the most success.
Yeah, so definitely a lot to look forward to from rowing, not just this season, but in the seasons to come. So Izzy and Trevor, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to the rest of your season.
Thank you for having us.
We're going to take one last break, and when we come back, we have all the upcoming games you can look forward to. Stay tuned.
I just missed the shuttle.
You never hit record.
I never hit record. I just got an F on my exam.
Is that you? Do you sit around bored all day? Do you want to watch television shows where you can look at the people and be like, I can be that. That's me. Well, you should check out LaSalle TV. That rhymes. We got entertainment news at Backstage Pass. We got regular news at LTV News. We got sports news at Sports Talk and SportsLine. And for those of you who really want some fun stuff, Q&A. Because down at LaSalle TV, we got a full buffet.
Thanks, LaSalle TV.
Thanks, LaSalle TV.
Thanks, LaSalle TV. I still miss my shuttle.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
Third line, please.
DEPRESSION.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale. Bipolar? Sorting out a mental health concern is not something to attempt on your own.
Anxiety. I thought so.
Like many health conditions, help for mental illness takes professional diagnosis and treatment. And the sooner you seek treatment, the better.
Look at that. 6,000 steps and PTSD.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. Find out what to do. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Welcome back. Spring sports are in their final stretch, so here's what you can look forward to this week. Track and field will compete at the Virginia Challenge on Friday, April 21st, and the Rutgers Relays on Saturday, April 22nd. Rowing will be back on the water at the Kerr Cup on April 22nd.
Women's golf will close out their season in Florida this week at the MAC Championship. They will play 3 rounds, April 21st through the 23rd. Then lacrosse will face St. Bonaventure on the 22nd.
So a lot of really great things to look forward to. Definitely the MAC championship is the big one. You know, women's golf has just been on a really great run lately. So just what is that feeling like to kind of get ready for such a big event?
It's so exciting, and unfortunately they've had a pretty short season with only 2 events leading up to this championship, but they're playing on a new course this week because the previous course is still doing renovation. So they have a new look, something a little different, and they have a super strong lineup. Kaylee Zeman's playing really well. Hannah Bosler, I'm expecting her to play really well. She does well in Florida. The ball's going to move a little bit further because of the heat. The grass is a little bit different, so there's some adjustments they need to make, but really, really exciting. It's just kind of, they're amped up to get the season done, but also in this fashion. It's just a ton of fun to see all the teams that in your conference and things like that. So very hopeful for them this week.
And just a lot of teams are, like we said, in the final stretch of their season. You know, track and field has back-to-back. Rowing has another big cup that obviously we want to see them be successful in. So it's just going to be really good to see how they're finishing out their seasons, because obviously you want to finish strong. And these are teams that we've come to expect a lot from. So I'm just really excited to see, you know, who stands out individually, how the teams do, and just what that can mean for Charlie and Megan to talk about next year. Got to set the precedent, you know?
Absolutely. This is the weeks that it all comes down to this. You know, they're getting into A10 championships and MAC championships. Water polo's got their MAC championships coming up. So it's just a super exciting time of year, and we're excited to see how they're going to do.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot to look forward to, but that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Siobhan Nolan.
And I'm Libby Gilliland. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.